Hey everyone, it's Jenny here. Welcome to our little soiree. I, I finished reading, well, I started and finished reading a biography about Stevie Nicks a few weeks ago, and it blew me away. I've been a fan of hers for a long time, been a fan of Fleetwood Mac, and sometimes when I say welcome to I hear Christine McVie, who is her bandmate in Fleetwood Mac, and on one of their live albums, that's what she says, welcome to our little soiree. She's British, so she's got an accent. Welcome to our little soiree. So anywho, welcome to our soiree, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited. This is a training, our kickoff here. And the theme is space to create. Space to create. So I am creating this training at the kickoff of a brand new year, the kickoff of 2019. And no matter if you're listening to it then or you are listening to it at another time, it is still potent and relevant because this space to create concept is crucial. Crucial for you supercharging your intuition, your income, and your impact, which is what we're doing here in Magic Makers. Yes, 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 we are. I have created a meditation that accompanies this training. It's an audio-only meditation. I encourage you to listen to it now to complement what I'm sharing with you during this training, and go back and listen to it again and again and again. You need to know that your work deserves to take up space. You deserve to take up space. And in order for that to be true, you need space to create. All right, so that's what we're going to be talking about during this training. And I'm just so pumped. I'm just so pumped. You also have a worksheet that accompanies this training. So feel free to print this out, doodle on it, journal on it, go to town with it. I like to communicate with you in various ways, utilizing different mediums, utilizing video, utilizing audio, utilizing the written word, the printed word. And so that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing here in Magic Makers. And I hope you enjoy everything that I'm going to be serving up to you. And with these trainings, they are delivered to you around the new moon, at each new moon cycle. And they're meant for you to play with them throughout this cycle and beyond. Like, this isn't going to leave you. You're not all of a sudden after this cycle ends going to forget about space to create and the importance of this. It will stay with you forever. And I am planting the seed for you to spend some really mindful, conscious time during this cycle implementing, doing this, being this, honoring this, protecting this. When you do that, when you really put this into play, amazing shifts are going to occur. And that's what I'm really excited about for you and for me and for this collective. The beautiful piece about being a teacher and putting work out there is that not only do you get to share this with your people, right? With your students, with your clients, with your audience, but you get to go deeper into it as the teacher. Because if you really want to understand something and be transformed by it, then you teach it, you share it, you take a stand around it. Okay? So thanks for giving me the opportunity. And if you are listening to this around the new moon, then I want you to really be in the energy of that newness. And I have created a video for you. It's called our welcome video, and our kind of how to co-create with the lunar cycle video. So make sure you have watched that. And if you need refreshers, you can always go back and rewatch that video, because that's what we're doing here in Magic Makers, is you're co-creating with the energy of the moon. And my team and I are going to assist you with this. And these lessons, these trainings that are being served up to you during each lunar cycle are going to give you a place to focus. Okay, you're going to be creating each lunar cycle. So that's standard. Like, that's just what we're doing here. That is the crux of Magic Makers. And then with these trainings that we are delivering up for you, and I say we because you may be watching me now on the screen or listening to me in your through your speakers, but this is certainly a team effort. And I want to thank my team for everything that they do, my physical team and those who are energetically on my team. This is a tremendous effort, and I'm so honored. I'm so honored. So space to create. Space to create. Again, that meditation I created for you is going to be awesome to really get you into this energy. So definitely tune into that and just keep it on, repeat. Go and listen to it over and over as you need that jump start, as you need that refresher. All right. So at the time that I'm creating this, we in the Northern Hemisphere are in the season of winter. If you are in the Southern Hemisphere, you are in the season of summer. And so when you hear me say winter, you're just going to flip that. But perhaps you can feel into the energy of winter as well. It's like we always have some winter in our hearts or winter someplace in our body. And just like I have a summer someplace in my body too, because I just adore summer. I just want to put that out there because the cool thing about Magic Makers is that we have women from all over the world in our collective, in our circle. And I live in the Northern Hemisphere, so I'm going to say winter right now. I'm feeling winter. I live in a very cold place. It's winter here, okay? The high today was about 18 degrees, so that's Fahrenheit. It is certainly winter here. And our theme of this season is you are the one you've been waiting for, okay? So we will have seasonal themes, and then we will have Moonly trainings that help bring the theme to life. So the Moonly training right now is space to create. And yes. Peter Drucker has a great quote: the best way to predict the future is to create it. Yeah. So do you want a different kind of a future for your family, for your community, for the world, for the planet? Create it. Create it. Stop waiting for someone else to go fix it, to go do it, to come up with the idea. You have the idea. You have the inclination. You've been called. Let's create it. Yes? That is the spirit of being a magic maker. So I'm going to ask you now, this is a question for you. What will you create this year? What will you create this year and why? What do you want to create? What's calling you forward? What opportunities are dropping in your lap? What messages and messengers keep coming across your radar? You know what I'm talking about? Like, you'll hear a book mentioned to you like 5 times in a very short period. You will see this program and you're like, oh my gosh. You'll see this people keep talking about a particular country or a place in the world, and you're like, what's that all about? I remember this is just coming through to me now. I kept hearing years ago, it was like in 2006, 2007, I kept hearing about China and Asia and the rise of China and, trends coming from Asia. This was pre-entrepreneur days when I was producing conferences back in my corporate executive days in New York City. And I became very curious about this. I had to conduct research with business leaders, get on the phone with them, talk to them about their biggest challenges, things like that. And I kept hearing that. And I became very curious, like, what is the deal? Like, why do they keep talking about this? I wanted to see it for myself. I wanted to go to Asia. And you really are an adult when you realize if you want something, you're going to go create it. You're going to go make that happen. You're going to go say yes to that. And so I had a conversation with my husband. I said, I really want to go to Asia. I felt like kids were on the horizon. I could feel that. I could feel like a shift in my life and my body and our marriage. And I said, I want to go to Asia and let's do it, this particular summer. And, then I had to pull a lot of things together and, all the steps that needed to happen. And we did, and it was incredible. But it was because those messages kept coming across my radar. And I have learned to trust that instead of pushing it away and being like, whatevs, who cares about China? Who cares about Asia? It's like there was something there I was meant to experience. I didn't need to know why I needed to experience it. I simply needed to trust that. And so are you willing to trust these messages that keep coming across your radar? Are you meant to trust there are certain dragons that you're meant to dance with? I used to say dragons you're meant to slay, but now I'm like, why don't we just dance with the dragon instead of have to slay it? Okay. There's certain things that you're meant to do. There's certain fears that you're meant to go through to get to the other side. There's certain caves you're meant to enter to find the treasure that you seek. You see? So what will you create in the next 12 months? And why? Are you creating a new program? Are you going to lead a retreat? Are you writing a book? Are you launching a podcast? Are you calling in a baby? Are you calling in a new relationship? Are you calling in more wealth and abundance? Are you calling in more philanthropy? Are you calling in more health and vitality in your body? Are you calling in a trip around the world? I mean, you name it. You can call that in. You can create that. And really, really tune into the why. Why? Why are you doing this? Why are you called to create this? Why? Why now? Why you? Why is now the time? Why are you not going to wait anymore? Okay? So that is the first, kind of point of inquiry I want to share with you. And to remind you that you can do this and you will do this when you decide to do this. This is what it is to be a magic maker. You stop waiting for people to give you handouts. You stop waiting for people to do it for you. Stop waiting for someone to come and save you. And you realize that the only person who's going to save you is you. You are the one you've been waiting for. And it is through your creations that you are going to change the world. Change the world in the way that only you can. It's through your contributions, it's through your energy, it's through your enthusiasm, it's through your focus, it's through your magic, it's through your making that you are going to leave a significant impact on your community, on your family, and on those people you have been called to serve. And the time to begin is now. All right? So you need space to create what is inside of you. And that's why we are focusing on that this moon cycle. Yeah. And I'm going to break down a few different areas that you want to look at so that you have that space to create. The first area is your home. Is your home. We all live somewhere. All right. We're blessed. If you're in Magic Makers, you live somewhere. Okay. And not everybody lives someplace. Some people live on the street. Some people live in horrible conditions. And, we can just pray for them and do our work so that we can give back to people and communities who are less fortunate, who started out in a much more disadvantaged position than you did or than I did, and give back to them. And that's a big motivator for me. How about you? So on the home front, we are blessed to have a home. Yeah. And I want to ask you now, is your home inspiring you or is it dragging you down? Is it designed in the way that is you? Is it relatively clean and uncluttered and organized? Is it vibrant and filled with light and art that you are passionate about, and maybe books and, treasures and furniture that just feels really you? Or is it so not you? Is it just like, oh, I'm in the wrong room? How did I get here? This isn't me at all. And usually we can feel it energetically. Okay. So this is something to ponder over this moon cycle about your home. And what changes can you make to your home to make it more inspiring, to make it less cluttered, to make it more you, to make it feel warmer? A few weeks back, I decided to get some new blankets for the home. And, again, it gets really cold here in winter. So I wanted these blankets to bring warmth, to bring kind of like fluffiness, to bring that cozy feeling. And some of the, one of the blankets, you actually see it here in this video, it is totally filled with color. I wanted this in my office. I just wanted to you see it right behind me. I wanted to just warm up that couch. It's a beautiful couch. It's like a velour velvet couch. And since I got that blanket, it sounds kind of like almost silly, but it's not. Since I got that blanket, I've sat on that couch more. Since I brought that pillow, right, that you see behind me in this video, I brought that pillow from a different part of the house into my office, that was a gift from my kids a few birthdays ago. I just loved that section. And now I'm creating these videos for you here. And I'm like, oh, I love it. I love the colors. I love the design. Like, this is me. I'm colorful, and I like imagery, and I like flowers, and I like seeing different animals, and I like seeing like glittery stars, and I like seeing like cozy. So that was important to me to invest in and to make some of those shifts. I also bought a few candles that I love and brought the candles into the space. They're very magical candles. Like, I light them and I literally feel like a magic maker. I'm like, I am making magic right now, lighting these candles. And there's specific candles that I like. I'm very kind of discerning about my candles. There's certain candles I'm like, nope, no, I don't want that candle. I don't like what it's made with. I don't like the smell. I'm super sensitive to smell. So these are the little things that might seem trivial and small, but actually mean a lot, especially to us women. So I want you really going through that home and just feeling it. Now, this can feel like a very big task if you have a home that's become unruly, or if you have a larger space that has a lot of different rooms. But I suggest that you just tackle it one space at a time. And remember, this is an ongoing process. You're not going to, master your space in one fall swoop and like never deal with it ever again. This will be an ongoing quest, but you'll bring that mindfulness to it that will allow you to feel like you're being intentional and that you're on top of the space creation process. And I do find that it's often the women who bring this into a family unit. If you live with multiple people, then it's often us who bring this to a relationship, who bring this to a group of people who are living together. So take it seriously and know that it is a huge part of you having space to create. Because that's the whole lens that we're looking at this through is, do you, like when you're in your home, do you feel inspired, or are you just like having to clean up stuff all the time and do not have any space to create because your home is dragging you down? Okay. So let's move into a conversation around workspace. Where do you work? I work from home. You might not. Is it set up to stretch you or to keep you stuck and feeling small? What changes do you need to make? Okay, this is the time to really sit with that, get honest. You can use the worksheet that accompanies this training to play. And again, you can sketch out ideas. It might not be that you make these changes immediately, but that you make some choices and you decide, hey, I'm going to do this project in a few months, and you start putting the plan in place to get yourself there. It might mean that you have a conversation, if you do live with somebody else, that you have a conversation with your partner or with your family to say, this is what I'm thinking, here's what I'm seeing, here's what I'm feeling. Can we talk about it? What are you feeling? What are you seeing? Because this is a collective conversation. You might have heard me say, this room that I'm in right now, this room didn't exist a few years ago. Like this, I would have been sitting outside in the land, on the land. This room was in my imagination. It was in my imagination. And my office was in the upper floor of this home. I like working from home. Okay, you might or you might not. Some people want a co-working space. You want an office in town. Maybe you're still employed. at at someone else's company and you are launching your creations on the side, sometimes called a side hustle, whatever. It's like we all have different situations here. For me, I had worked in an office, someone else's office for about 10 years. Once I started working from home, I just really wanted to be able to work from home. And having kids, it can get a little tricky because they're busting in sometimes and coming in and like playing with my supplies. I'm like, but I really enjoy working from home. It works for me right now. And I needed to have a space that I could create in. And the former office space I had was not conducive to me creating. I didn't see my business growing in that space. I couldn't feel it. It didn't feel right. And I trusted that, had the conversation with my husband, and we created this space. Good thing I have my tea today. Magic Maker's mug in the house. So cool. Magic Maker's mug. And if you ever want to get mugs created for your programs or whatever, you can see here, we got this made through the good people at Shutterfly. Super simple. My team creates the graphic and then we get it handled, and then my team gets the addresses in and we send them off to whoever we send them off to. But it's a really cool thing to do. Okay, that was a little sidebar. So as it's winter, I got a little bit of a cough. That's kind of just what I'm dealing with right now. It's winter. I'm in winter. I've got my cozy sweater on. I've got my cozy blanket. I've got my cozy socks on. It's winter. It's winter where I live. And it may be winter where you live. So this is also a reminder in Magic Makers to be in the season that you're in. I'm not wearing like a tank top and I'm not, got my flops on. Look at my socks. They're like literally almost knee socks. They're so cozy. There's this brand Smartwool. Oh my God, they changed my life. Okay, so this space was created because my husband and I had a conversation, and it was a big commitment and a big investment. And we created a library upstairs. We got renovated the kitchen. We did a patio up front. I mean, it was big time. It was big time. And it was the right move. And while we were going through it, I conceived my daughter, Kate, because we made space for her, space to create, space to create. My old office is now her bedroom. Okay. So we needed that space to create a daughter who's going to change the world with her beautiful magic, and to create a sister for our sons, and for me to have this space so I could create these programs and these experiences for you, because this is what I'm called here to do. And I needed space to create. So really check in and see, is your workspace set up so that you can grow? Okay. And you've got to get honest here. I knew I was not going to be able to grow in that old space. I was like, this doesn't feel right. It was either create this or get an office in town, which I could have done that too. But I wanted to have an office at home. I wanted that. And so we made it happen. All right. So really get clear on what kind of space do you need. It might just be a really cool section of your home that you can just make really pretty, and people know that's your space, and don't mess it up and don't, throw stuff on it or break stuff, but that it's yours and you're going to protect it. Okay. I got to get some water too, because the throat is tickly. Okay. So the next area that you're going to look at for space to create is your schedule. Because a lot of you, I'm going to just guess, your schedule has left no space to create because you have filled it with so much stuff. And a lot of this stuff isn't important for what you're meant to do next. Okay. So I invite you during this lunar cycle to look at your schedule and really get honest with yourself if you are leaking energy. And if you are protecting the asset. You are the asset. Without you, the creations don't exist. You will create things out of thin air this year. And if you're not here, those things won't exist. Okay? So you must protect that schedule. You can't say yes to every invitation. You can't say yes to time wasters. You can't forget this, really. I mean, that's the message for you. So I suggest that you start each morning with a ritual. Figure out what that ritual is for you. Mine is warm water with lemon, followed by my tea with lemon. Sometimes I put this little like concoction in my tea that's just really helps me stay healthy. And it feels very magical. And I just get quiet with myself. During the winter time, I go into our library. I tend to want to do this before anyone else is up. I go into the library, I push a button, I turn on our gas fireplace, I just get cozy in there and I sit. I sit with myself in the quiet. And from there, it's like, what am I creating today? What kind of day am I going to create? And within that day, what creations will spring forth? Yes? I'm also very dedicated and committed to rest. Rest is required for renewal and for your creations, and certainly at new moon, which if you are listening to this, when it comes out, we're in the new moon energy. This is the time for rest, renewal, and ultravision. All right. Rest is always required, but you might feel that it's even more important during this time in the cycle, during this phase of the cycle. Okay. I also find that exercise and movement are critical. My body knows when I haven't moved and it doesn't like it. So we did get a dog several months ago, and that dog, which I said I would never get a dog, that dog has allowed me to move even during winter. Y'all, I freaking go running when it's snowing out sometimes. I did that actually a few days ago. My husband's like, it's snowing. I'm like, I like to run in the snow. He goes, yes, me too. So I run in the snow with my dog. It's wild because I know that that movement is so important for me to be able to really create what's meant to come through me. Otherwise, my body feels clunky. I start feeling like negative. My thoughts don't take me to a positive place. And, we all have that ability to go to, crazy town, or to go to, the place where all the fears and doubts and like, oh my God, what am I doing lives. But you have to know how you can design your schedule so that you're protecting the asset. You are coming to this place of optimism, of courage, of guts, of magic, and you are being willing to take those actions that are going to get you closer to fulfilling this mission that you have during this lifetime. Okay. You might have heard me talk about before this concept of chunking your time and batching your tasks. I'm not going to go through it all here, but I do have a link on your worksheet that will take you to my template that's called your Reclaim Your Time template. You can, click on that, opt in for it. And along with the template, you'll get a blog post with some, guidance and pointers on how to put that into practice for you. This is just something I live by. I forget not everybody does this, but I know they don't. And many of you here don't. This will be absolutely powerful for you because it is showing that you are a fierce protector of your time. And as you have questions that come up around this, certainly bring them to our group, bring them to our full moon coaching circles. This is how I want to support you because this is how you'll start, putting it into play. Okay. So your schedule is so important to you creating what's inside of you. And that schedule equals space or equals insanity. You get to decide. All right. Some people will say to me, oh, Jenny, you must be so busy. And I don't take that bait. I say, no, I'm not busy. I choose not to be, but my life is full. My life is full. So I don't believe that busy is a badge of honor. I don't believe that we have to be saying like, we're so crazy busy and I'm just so overwhelmed and I'm so blah, blah, blah. Like, watch the words that you're using because that will have an impact on your own energy and what you are creating. If you're just always feeling like crazed and you're always feeling overwhelmed and you're always feeling like I'm just so busy, then don't be surprised when you don't have that space to create what's inside of you. Okay. So yes, my life is full, but I am very intentional about what I bring into my schedule and what I do not. And I make no apologies about that. All right. And I encourage you to do the same. All right, a couple more areas to look at here. This next one is technology. Technology. So I ask you today, is the tech in your life a helpful tool, or does it own you? Is it a helpful tool, or does it own you? I want to be honest that technology has owned me in the past. There are still moments that I'm like, oh, it's owning me right now. It's got me hooked. And tech, the way it's designed today, is to hook us. It is to hook us. And if you listen to any interview or read any piece that, has some of the kind of originators, the creators of certain things like social media tools and other kind of apps, things like that, they'll say they didn't realize what was going to happen with these tools when they initially created them. And some of them have completely wished that they wouldn't have been a part of that initial creation because they don't like to see what has happened. And I take that to heart. I really, really do. And we're very protective of our children. Our kids are still relatively young, but what we'll allow them to do, what kind of devices and tools that we allow them to have or don't allow them to have. And we don't care if other kids do and they don't. It's like, I, as a mother, want to really honor my kids being able to just be in the world without needing to get like dinged and notified and triggered and tagged and blah. And the same goes for me. I can't create what's inside of me if I am always on my phone, if I'm always checking email, if I'm always responding, if I'm always looking at this. And honestly, I don't think you can either. All right. So this is an invitation for you to really ask yourself, is the technology a helpful tool for you, or does it own you? And how about people in your family? Do you need to make some shifts here, even if some people won't like that? I want you to really go through and ask how email is serving you. Can you create some filters in your email so things go into certain folders, things automatically get deleted? Can you have an autoresponder on that just says, hey, I only check email at this time every day or a few times a week? So it's just, you kind of just remove that thinking that you have to respond right away, or so-and-so is going to be upset, or they're going to think that you're not reliable. Okay. Use it as a tool. Don't let it use you. How about social media? Who do you need to unfollow? Who do you need to unfriend? What groups do you need to leave? Okay. What apps do you need to remove from your phone? Are there set times that you want to go into social media? Do you want to take a detox every now and again? On my main computer, which is what I'm recording this video on right now, I have for Facebook what's called the Newsfeed Eradicator. It's a plugin. I've installed that onto my Facebook. So when I go on there, I don't see my newsfeed. I can go in and go into the groups that I want to share stuff. I can share my own stuff. I can go onto other people's pages or profiles, no problem, but I'm not going to get lost scrolling that newsfeed. So that's a tip for you. If you tend to be scrolling more than you're creating, there's an issue. Create before you consume. Create before you consume. One of my podcast guests shared that, and I just love it. And it's just stayed in my mind. Create before you consume. Okay. Also on social media, I personally like Facebook Messenger, but I don't respond to every message that comes in, and I don't expect people to respond to every message that I send out. You don't have to always respond. Same on Instagram. If you're on Instagram, like just be really mindful, be conscious. I know some people say they don't look at it at all and their team handles it or nobody handles it. They just know. If you want to get in touch with them, you email them or you get to them in another way. All right. So you get to decide. You get to decide. How about your phone? Do you look at every text when it comes in? Do you have your notifications turned on? You're always getting bells and bings. And how about your calls? Do you always need to have your phone with you, or could you leave it when you go for that hike or you go for that walk or you go for that run? Now, when I go for runs with my dog around my neighborhood, I don't bring my phone and my headphones. I listen to nature. I listen to my breath. That's what I need. That's what I need. And I mentioned it before, but what can you remove from your phone? Can you remove some apps? Mm-hmm. Can you organize things better on your phone? Like I have folders on my phone, and so everything is like pretty succinct. I don't have like pages and pages of apps. I go into my husband's phone and I almost have like a panic attack. I'm like, oh my God, you have so many apps here. Nothing's organized. How do you do this? It doesn't bother him. It doesn't bother him. For me, it's oh my gosh, too much. All right. So how about you? What are you going to do to clean things up so you have space to create? Yeah. All right. Final piece here. Gratitude. Gratitude. You have some beautiful things that you're going to create. I know it. I feel it. That's why you're here in Magic Makers. And you're also going to get freaked out, and you're going to have your doubts, and you're going to have people who are doubters and naysayers and perhaps some critics. You will. It's okay. Can you come back to a place of gratitude? Do you have a regular practice when it comes to gratitude? I was asked this recently by an amazing woman who is one of my Get Gutsy certified coaches. And she's also our Magic Makers coach for the winter season. Her name is Aubrey Harmon. And she recently was coaching me. It was part of her kind of final step to get her certification as a Get Gutsy certified coach. And we had been in Mexico together for this retreat, and it was glorious. And I just had such a good time. And, I came home, and I love my home, and I love my family, and I love my community. And I also really had an awesome time in Tulum with my clients. And then I spent some time on my own, and it was just bliss. It really was. I took all these pictures one day. I just walked alone. I like really have a good time with myself. Do you have a good time with yourself? I hope you do. And she said, well, do you have a regular gratitude practice? Because I shared with her, I want to maintain this feeling. I want to I want to have Tulum in my heart. I want to have it. I don't want to lose it. It was so magical. It was so special. And I don't, how sometimes you'll go on a trip or you have this experience and then you kind of forget. It's like, when did I really do that? Did that happen? Like, when was that? Was that just a dream? And she said, she asked me some really great questions. She's a fantastic coach, and I'm excited for everyone to get to know her and Magic Makers and just really feel into her magic. And it was from that, her beautiful questions and her beautiful coaching and just listening to me. And the fact that I had received a catalog in the mail from it was Shutterfly, where we got our these fantastic Magic Makers mugs made. And I've gotten a bunch of mugs made there for lots of different programs, which has been really cool. And I had gotten a catalog from them in the mail because it was around the holidays. And I had, looked through it, and they have cool little things that you can make. And I saw this photo cube, and I had never made a photo cube before. And I said, oh my gosh, that's what I'm going to do. Aubrey, I'm going to make a photo cube. I said, I want you to hold me accountable. I'm going to do this. And I'm going to tell you when I do it. And this is the power of coaching, right? Because I wouldn't have come up with this without her questioning and her coaching me. And it was just, that's the beauty of this collaborative thing that we're doing here together. And I said, I am going to pick some of the photos that I took in Tulum, and I'm going to make this photo cube. And I'm going to put it in my kitchen at this spot. And every time I look at it, I'm going to know gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. So I brought my photo cube for this video so you could see it. There's all these great messages that are on it. These are photos that I took in Tulum. Tulum is just a slice of heaven. It really, really is. And I created this cube. And then at the top, this is a sunrise in Tulum. This is a sunrise in Tulum. I'm trying to let you see it because I've got this cool light in front of me, so there's a bit of a glare. But that's the sunrise. That was the water. That's the Caribbean Sea. And then I've got this great cube. And so I keep it in my kitchen. And then every day I'll just kind of flip so I can see a different side. Okay. And the message is so great. It says, follow that dream. Be the reason someone smiles today. My soul honors your soul. I honor the place in you where the entire universe resides. Namaste. This says, life is like a bicycle. In order to keep your balance, you must keep moving. Okay, this follow that dream sign. That just, I followed the freaking road to see this sign because I saw it in a car, in a cab going to dinner one night. I was like, I got to get a picture of this. I love this. I love this. Follow that dream. Follow that dream. So you need space to create so you can follow that dream. So I wanted to just show that example to you because this has really helped me with that gratitude practice because I'm not perfect here. I mean, I can have those moments where I just start feeling crappy. I just start feeling like, oh, things aren't going the way that I want them to, or as fast as I want them to, or this person's further along. You know, it's that compare and despair crap that we get ourselves into, and it'll get you nowhere. And so can you come back to gratitude? What is your practice here? Would some kind of visual cue help you get still and anchored around this gratitude? Okay, so that's what I have for you with this training on space to create. And I also have a challenge for you, an action for you, kind of a culmination of what I shared, which is to create more space in your world so your work has room to take up more space. All right, go through your home, your work, your schedule, your technology, and clean things up. Okay, and delegation is encouraged too. What can you delegate? Doesn't all have to be you as you do this. You know, we have a regular housekeeper who comes in. Oh my gosh, so grateful. Our babysitter comes in too. We have a regular babysitter for our kids. She helps with laundry. I mean, I can't do it all. I can't do it all. And I'm not going to pretend that I can. I have a great team, personally, business-wise. And I also know that a lot of this is on me to clean stuff up and to be able to at least initiate things, give direction, make decisions. And the same is true for you. Okay. Dawn Richard, I found this fantastic quote just about this concept of space. And she says this: be exactly who you are. You can fit in any space you see yourself in. Be fearless. So you need that space to create. You belong in any space you see yourself in. You can fit there. You have to decide that. All right. This is so what we'll be looking at within Magic Makers. And here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I'm excited to hear how you do with this. Come into our forum and share. Speak up. Let me know what comes up, what kind of space you are creating, what kind of decisions that you made, what kind of moves that you are making, and certainly any questions that you have. Enjoy this new moon energy. Enjoy this lunar cycle. I look forward to gathering on our full moon coaching circle. Our coaching circles happen in our Facebook group. They are live streamed. If you can't come live, you will watch the replay. But that's where we really bring the circle together in a live format. And we can talk about your questions related to this particular topic and beyond. This is simply the focal point for you, this lunar cycle, and it will help you create what you're meant to create and to give you the space to do so. Thanks so much for being here. I am honored to be a guide to you here in Magic Makers, and I look forward to when we next gather. Much love. Mwah. Bye.